Hello everyone, welcome to my talk at JiraCon 22. I'm really happy that you all could join me here today to talk about prioritization. Today we will look at different prioritization techniques, when and how to apply them, and ultimately how to create your own custom prioritization framework unique to your project. Before I get to the topic, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Zavhordonia, taking care of growth marketing at Jexo. I'm making sure that project and product managers know about our time-saving apps for Jira Cloud and see how effective they can make their work life. I've been working in the software industry for more than 5 years now, managing projects in various fields from content production to customer success and marketing. I came to product and marketing from teacher training, publishing, and sales background, and at that time I had to wear all hats at the same time, so the Eisenhower priority matrix was the only available method at my disposal. This got me deeply interested in prioritization as a research field. This is when I crossed paths with Jexo. I started digging what prioritization techniques are out there, how they can help achieve business goals if used right and adapted appropriately. Now, a couple of words about Jexo. Jexo is an Atlassian Gold Marketplace partner that helps teams improve their work with great project management apps. We have a portfolio of apps for Jira Cloud at the Atlassian Marketplace that cover topics such as planning, road mapping, prioritization, reporting, component management, and risk management. Now let me take you through the agenda of today's session. First, we will have a quick introduction to prioritization, look at its importance for project and product management. Next, we will take a look at the best methods for project prioritization that are available at the moment and are currently industry standard. They are ready for you to pick up and use out of the box. And the main part of this session will be dedicated to creating your own custom prioritization method with a technique that is called weighted scoring. This custom method enables you to identify the most important factors for your specific project and use them for effective database prioritization. It also ensures that your backlog refinement is well aligned with your company's business goals and current setup, and thus provides you with a powerful argumentation base ready to be presented and justified to stakeholders. And as this is JiraCon, at the end of the talk, we will look at how this priority scoring and actually prioritization can be applied in Jira. As best PM practices teach us, it's always better to have all operations under one roof. So many of us face the same dilemma when managing projects or even managing our own work. It is not knowing what to work on next, what projects, features, or tasks will bring us the most value to the business and to the project, and which updates will make both our customers and our stakeholders happy. So, backlog prioritization is one of the key tasks in project and product management. But often enough, it is also one of the biggest headaches, especially when many people are involved in the prioritization process. It is also sometimes difficult to scope all the ideas that we have or all the customer feedback that we get. So how do you know which tasks are bringing the most value to your customer? And if you're dealing with a long backlog of items requested from various clients or stakeholders, how do you decide what to tackle next? And overall, how do you manage to build new features, fix bugs, and manage the tech team at the same time? In the meantime, we need to take into account the limited budget, time, and team resources that we currently have. And the truth is, no team on earth can build everything at the same time. This is where backlog prioritization comes to the rescue. Many of us believe we can focus and multitask on plenty of projects at the same time, but it may often lead to our own or our team's burnout. And this will definitely not yield any desirable results. So to help out with that and simplify our lives, we use prioritization methods. To avoid this, we choose prioritization techniques. Most prioritization methods have very much in common. They are similar in their essence. They all aim at calculating some type of priority score to help you decide on your team's priorities. However, all methods differ in their approaches to the business needs, types of metrics taken into account, and spheres of application. Be it a startup, a growing business, or a large-scale enterprise, the prioritization techniques chosen will be different. When choosing a prioritization technique to use for your project, we need to identify the key factors that are important for this particular project. For instance, this can be effort, impact, goal, risks, costs, and so on and so forth. Once core factors are identified, we need to figure out how to calculate the priority score correctly in such a way that that makes sense to this specific project. After that, we can start prioritizing the backlog. This will allow us to select the top priorities, the tasks or items that we need to focus on. And finally, we can build a priority matrix to visualize all priorities and present them to stakeholders. There are many quantitative methods that we can roughly divide into two different types, predefined and customizable. Predefined prioritization methods are reliable as they have been already used in many projects and many companies. They are more generic and easy to pick up and use out of the box, which makes them a very great thing to start with. If you're new to prioritization and want to just quickly bring it into your project structure, you don't want to think about creating a prioritization method too much. You can just pick up the ones I have on the screen and use them out of the box. In this workshop, we will look at some of them in more detail. Customizable methods, on the other hand, offer you an advantage to create your own priority formula using the technique called weighted scoring. The concept is quite similar to all the existing methods. First, we identify factors that are important for your specific project, then rank them according to their importance, add weight to each of them. This technique is a little more advanced and requires some more preparation time, but as a result and as an advantage, you have all unique factors that are essential for your specific project taken into account. This will allow you to make much more data and factor-driven decisions. It especially helps when we need to go through backlog grooming with stakeholders, and the goal is to come up with a unanimously approved sprint plan. Well, for this reason, we at Jexo have collected key factors that will help you to create your custom priority technique and custom priorities formula, and I will share them in the next section. Let's first take a look at 4 predefined prioritization methods widely used in both project and product management. The first one and the simplest one is IUE Prioritization Method. It stands for Impact, Urgency, and Ease. This technique is best suited for smaller teams as it doesn't require previous data analysis. In order to assess priorities, you assign each item in your backlog a number from 1 to 5, where 1 is the smallest, which means that if your task has little impact, you'd assign 1 to that specific factor. Calculating the prioritization score itself is quite simple. You just multiply all of these metrics and get your priority score. This prioritization method is also popular among teams because you can combine them with a priority matrix called Impact Urgency Matrix. We use impact and urgency metrics, plug them into a chart to identify quadrants, and this way we can choose which tasks we should do now, do next, do later, and which ones will never get completed at all. This matrix helps you to visualize the prioritization process as well. So you're not looking only at the priority scores, but have a chart to share. It is very helpful when we need to discuss the importance of backlog items with the team or stakeholders or clients. The next one is GUT method, vastly used in project management. Here we use factors like gravity, urgency, and tendency. Gravity shows what effects of this task or projects are, if they are serious or not. Urgency shows if the task can wait or it has to be tackled right away. Tendency shows us if the things are going to get worse, or is it fine in short midterm. Or maybe there's zero tendency. It means there's no tendency for things to get worse at all. Calculating the score here is the same as for IUE. By multiplying all of these metrics, you get the priority score. The next one is RICE, developed by Intercom. It's an objective scoring system that is mostly used by product management teams when they prioritize features and create product roadmap. RICE is one of the most popular techniques for product backlogs. It uses metrics such as reach, impact, confidence, and effort to calculate priority scores for each item in the backlog. This method takes into account how much does this task item contribute to your goal, and this way we assess impact. It lets you think about how confident you are that this will work based on your previous similar tasks, and this way we assess confidence. Next, we think of how difficult is it to implement for the whole team, both the development and other teams involved, and thus we estimate ease. And most importantly, we evaluate the potential reach. How many customers does this task impact within a set period of time? Here you can choose a time period based on the data you have. For example, if you're planning to upgrade a feature, then reach would be defined as the number of users who used this very specific feature for the past analyzed period. So RISE quantifies the impact of unit per time worked, and it helps to remove bias from backlog refinement meetings. The last predefined method we shall look at today is weighted shorted jobs first, which is usually used in SAFe and Agile. It allows you to calculate the financial impact, cost of delay, of not finishing a task in time. This technique was designed to help speed up the delivery of value, especially in large projects with big issue queues and long waiting times. To calculate the cost of delay and weighted shorted jobs first score, we assign 4 metrics to our priorities. Business value, how does it impact your business? Time criticality, can you lose customers if task is not completed on time? Risk reduction, is there a negative impact if task is delayed? And estimated size, how difficult is it to deliver in hours or story points? The cost of delay is a sum of business value, time criticality, and risk reduction. And to get the weighted shorted jobs first score, we divide the cost of delay by the estimated size. And this way, the higher the weighted shorted jobs first score, the more critical the task is. It helps us to clarify how decisions are made based on a consensus. And this method is especially useful for product owners who need to prioritize two similar features. If you want to learn more about existing prioritization methods, their peculiarities and cases they're used in, download our free eBook, The Ultimate Guide to Product Prioritization. It covers 15 of the most popular prioritization frameworks used by product managers to select features to work on. Every technique has all their pros and cons and examples explained. A lot of them can be applied to project management as well. Now let's take a look at using these existing methods as a basis and create our own priority scoring method with the weighted scoring technique. The biggest advantage of this method is that it's very customizable. It can be specifically tailored to your project. Adjustability makes it more accurate for project prioritization. There are 4 steps that we need to take in order to create our custom prioritization technique. First, we identify core factors that are crucial for our specific project. Then we rank the core factors, give them importance in the scoring formula. Third, we create our prioritization formula. We will go through the whole process here. And fourth, we introduce this custom prioritization method to the team and start grooming the backlog. Let's start with identifying the core factors. We look at different prioritization methods that are used in a variety of projects and collected the most commonly used factors. Then we divided all these factors into 4 buckets depending on their category. The buckets are the following: effort and time, team, importance, and impact. So when creating your prioritization method, you just pick up the relevant factors from each of the buckets and put them together in your prioritization formula. The effort and time bucket contains factors defining estimation metrics, such as story points, effort, or ease. There is also such factors as time sensitivity or tendency, which allow us to assess if the task is important in longer or short-term priority. There are also metrics to evaluate dependencies, such as cross-team collaboration. If a project requires, for example, collaborating with other teams, then estimated time spent might get slowed down because cross-team dependencies are more difficult to manage. The next one is team bucket. Here you can find factors checking your team's skill set and involvement. For instance, employee satisfaction or team health. These factors let us assess if the task contributes to your team health or if team is going to be motivated enough to complete it. A good example here would be doing some maintenance stuff or bug fixes as opposed to some really exciting projects. There are also competency and skills here. We evaluate how skilled the team is and consider their seniority levels, whether the team is mainly consisting of juniors or is there someone senior to help the team deliver the task. Efficiency is another good factor to look at here, which shows us if the team is going to be more efficient after completing the task. For example, if you consider automating some part of the workflow. Now we come over to the importance bucket. Here it's worth saying that often companies struggle when cooperating with stakeholders. So it might be a very good practice to create different importance factors or metrics for stakeholders from different departments to be part of prioritization process. This way, they get involved in the process and make sure that you're counting their vote as well. Depending on the project, we can involve stakeholders from sales, tech, product, or legal, or other organization departments. We might also need to take into account here some outer or inner requirements when we look at our priority factors. For example, technical requirements or legal requirements, such as GDPR or security standards. And the last bucket that we have is impact. Here, we take a look at how the company vision, risks, or goals are impacted. Questions to ask: how does this contribute to our company goal or our team goal? Does this increase sales? Are we trying to increase customer satisfaction, or does it have good or internal or external impact? There are some other good company-wise and brand-wise factors to look at here. Now let's get everything together and look at creating the scoring formula itself. Basically, we have identified the essential factors for our project, and next we assign numeric weight to each of them, depending on their importance to the project itself. Let's say we choose numbers from 1 to 9, and the higher the number is, the more important the factor is to a project, and consequently, it has more weight in our scoring formula. All weight assigned, we go over and multiply the weight with each factor and sum them up. If you have a lot of factors in this formula, you get a very complex number. We divide this number by the sum of all weights, and voila, this is it. Let's look at how this can be handled in an example. Let's say I'm working on a project with a new team. We haven't worked together before. We have a mix of skill set in the team, but the majority of the team are juniors. We have a senior person in the team, but there is a possibility that we won't have enough capacity to deliver certain tasks. That's why I chose these factors for this particular case. It's useful to take either ease or effort every time we have as a metrics for your prioritization technique. So you're considering how long or how difficult it's going to be to deliver a task. And as this is a new team, we might also want to add cross-team collaboration and risk potential to make sure that we identify these factors upfront. Next, we add weight to each of these factors, which will then represent their importance. This way, the higher the number, the more important the factor is. Once we have this done, we can go on and create a scoring formula. First, we summarize all factors and we make sure to multiply each of them by its weight. Then we divide this by the sum of all weights, which is 16 in this case, and that's about it. Now you can build your own custom scoring formula and prioritize your projects. This formula can be implemented in any tool of your choice. The most obvious one will be Excel, but if you do use Jira Cloud and would like to have all operations under one roof, you might be interested in our app Foxy. Foxy is an app for Jira Cloud that helps you create and standardize your prioritization methods and prioritize your issues directly in Jira. It has more than 1K subscribers, and it also allows you to have priority matrix and priority charts to present to stakeholders. Foxy offers some predefined industry-standard prioritization methods such as value versus effort, ICE, RICE, and weighted shorter jobs first, but it also allows you to create your own custom method like the one we looked at before. You can use different styles for your metrics, from numeric scores to star ratings and labels, so it's easier to prioritize. And you can create a new template, write your own formula, and choose the factors that are important to your project. Once a prioritization method is chosen, you can prioritize your issues in the interactive table. The logic is basically the same. You assign all metrics to the issue and the priority score is automatically calculated. You can view your backlog by priority from highest to lowest to see the most important issues on the top. And to visualize the results of your prioritization, Foxy has Priority Matrix View. Here you can choose what metrics you would like to see on X and Y axis to create your own quadrants and views. This will allow great flexibility from a data visualization perspective. These automatically created prioritization charts come very handy for meetings if you need to share your team priorities with stakeholders or upper management. There is also a table under the chart where you can see all actual issues and navigate to them in Jira.
I hope you enjoyed this workshop. If you want to learn and try other prioritization frameworks, you are free to download our prioritization ebook. I will have the link on the next slide. And as a key takeaway from today's workshop, I'd like you to use this custom prioritization method worksheet that you can download. It has all the factors that we talked about today, and it can help you greatly with creating your own customized formula. Thank you so much for joining my workshop today. I hope it was informative and entertaining. If you would like to know more about Foxy, please get a 30-day free trial from Atlassian Marketplace and explore it yourself, or contact me via email and I would love to share it with you. Kudos to the Trundl team for this epic JiraCon event. It's always a pleasure to be part of it, and millions of thanks for supporting Ukraine in these tough times for my country. To all of you, have a great rest of the day and enjoy other sessions.